Greetings and salutations to you, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to Grim Dawn 101. I thought of that all by myself. This is a new little mini-series of mine, marked by the recent release of Grim Dawn, or full release of Grim Dawn, as of the time of this recording. I thought this would be a fantastic time to take a step back from the minutiae, from the detail that is a game such as Grim Dawn. We, as Grim Dawn players, a lot of the time really focus in on the nitty-gritty and all the really deep mechanics and the theory crafting and advanced builds and gear dependency and all that cool stuff, armor absorption. It's all wicked fun stuff, and I love that side of it, and I'm obsessed with it myself. But Grim Dawn is now fully out there. It's available to the masses, and with that surely comes a few new players. And that's who I'm attempting to address with this little series of mine, where we pair back on some of the more advanced mechanics, all the crazy full-on stuff that would surely intimidate a player new to this franchise, this game, I suppose. So that is the goal of what I'm trying to do here. Focus on a more basic level as to what's happening around in the lands of Grim Dawn. So for today, we're going to begin right at the very start in terms of what Grim Dawn is as a game, and an overview, a general overview of some of the very basic mechanics, how to get around and that sort of thing, and the basic feature set, the basic things that comprise a Grim Dawn in terms of leveling up and mastery selection, attributes, loots, all that cool stuff. So without further ado, what is a Grim Dawn? Grim Dawn is, at a very high level, an isometric action RPG, or action role-playing game. Those of you who are familiar with games such as the Diablo franchise, Titan Quest, Torchlight 2, you're in the right ballpark. Those are very similar games in terms of its general aesthetic and style and gameplay. Excuse me. So that's what you would expect in Grim Dawn. So the overall features in terms of what you're going to get out of it, of course, leveling. Grinding and leveling up and killing lots of stuff. Really fun times. Grim Dawn boasts a dual mastery system. So if I now hop across it to game, as you can see, we've got two tabs here for Nightblade and Shaman in this particular instance, but you have, if I recall correctly, 5 masteries to choose from at this point in time, if I've counted correctly. So you have the ability to combine 2 mastery or classes together to form your own unique class, and as you can see, within each mastery you have a plethora of skills to choose from. You can advance up your mastery tree in here, as well as choose from a whole bunch of different skills and combine them any way you deem feasible and fun and awesome. We'll get into the more detailed stuff on that in a later video, but that is just a general overview of what's going on there. You can also further augment and modify your particular character and build using this devotion tree or devotion set of constellations, which are further skills and passive buffs you can give to your character for another added layer of customization, which is really amazing, and as you can see, incredibly detailed. Generally speaking as well, you've got your attributes, your physique, cunning, and spirit, and other bits and pieces, which is another thing we will get into later down the track. But there's another layer of, I suppose, more optimization or customization of your character. So, you run around like you would in other such games of an action RPG nature. Left click is your basic form and function for a lot of the things in the game. As you can see, I'm walking around here with holding down my left click, and that's how you kill stuff in a nutshell as well. And of course, if you're remotely familiar with these kinds of games, you can assign buttons for your other skills, such as right click and most commonly the number keys across the top of your keyboard, and you just run around as such and you kill stuff and get lots of awesome loot. Of course, that's another thing that's very deep in Grim Dawn, very ingrained in its nature, is buckets and buckets and containers of loot of all shapes and sizes, and good times. As you can see here, I have not cleaned out my inventory too well, and I'm carrying a whole bunch of different stuff, which is very lazy of me, but you've got everything from, when you're starting out as a level 1, your basic white tier common items, through to magical and rares, epics, legendaries of all shapes and sizes. It's another awesome layer of customization, both in the passive augments, buffs you get from your gear, of course, armor ratings, damage types, etc. But there's even gear that gives you granted skills. So on particular weapons, for example, you have extra added skills come as part of that weapon, which is really awesome. And I think some other pieces of gear too. Yeah, all gear has that in some respect. The ability to give you added skills just from finding a piece of gear, which is really awesome and fun. I'm going to refer to my notes to make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. But look, that's the core of the game, of course. Like I said, if you're familiar with other games of this nature, you get in there, you click on stuff to murder hordes and hordes of enemies. You pick up absolute mountains of loot, whatever your heart desires, and you level up. It's the classic tropes of this sort of genre, and Grim Dawn definitely subscribes to that. But as we get into the meat of this game, you'll see it does these classic tropes in its own unique way, and really adds some really awesome depth and customization, and it just feels different and unique and clean and concise and just great. I'm talking it up too much. I should be just focusing on what it is, I suppose. In terms of setting, we're in the world of Cairn. You could think of it as very loosely based on the on the Victorian era of our world. However, it's not based on Earth. And basically, humans are stuck between a war of ethereals and chthonics, two otherworldly races which are very scary and just absolutely demolishing Earth as they go along. And we emerge in this world as the Taken. We the character were inhabited by an ethereal presence which decided to leave our body at the very last second as we were about to be executed, and then we get thrust into the world in the land of Devil's Crossing, where we meet John Bourbon, who gives us a whole bunch of quests to do, and that sets you off into the world of Grim Dawn. So that is really the basics of what we're looking at for the game. I mean, I'm just trying to keep it clean and concise for now. We'll go into further detail in later videos, that's for sure. Maybe we'll quickly swing around the different NPCs you'll run around. We'll just do a right to left here. Your classic green icon here is just your random NPCs who will just tell you some interesting information. People with bags above their heads, of course, will be vendors of varying types. Again, another video, most likely. You've got your blacksmith for crafting needs. You'll find a couple of these around the place, your smugglers, who hold your wares for you, all the extra stuff that you can't bear to part with. And I don't think I have any quests I can pick up right now, unfortunately, but usually your yellow question mark, classic trope, will be your quest hand-in if you finish something. This white question mark means I have yet to finish something for Captain Soma in this case. And of course, whoopsies, your exclamation mark is going to be a new quest for yourself. Have I missed anyone? Yes, I have, because I'm in the wrong town for this, actually. Teleportation, in terms of getting around the world, these rift gates will be found across Cairn. You pick them up, and they're kind of your waypoints throughout the land, so you don't have to keep walking everywhere. As you can see, I've got most of them in this for this character in this difficulty level. So if we just click to say Devil's Crossing, we'll of course instantly be there. You also have your own instantaneous rift that you can put out at any point in time just by clicking L as the default key, and then you can teleport from wherever you are to another location, and of course come back to your own rift gate. So anyone else that we should mention? Yes, I wanted to visit the Spirit Guide, who you'll find in Devil's Crossing, which is the first town you'll come across. I found up in the top right hand corner here, and this is your skill respec. So if there's anything you don't want, any skills you want to dispose of because you're not feeling it, you want to rejig your build, this is your person. So you can buy back your assigned skills in either of your trees. You cannot buy back from the mastery bar. And you can also buy back your devotion points. So I could, excuse me, I could click on any assigned constellation and buy back some of the points from there. Geez, so I think that's about it. I've rambled on for quite a while here. I was trying to keep this video nice and short. Because I want to go into further depth with each of these characters. Oh my goodness, each of these concepts, each of these videos, each of these ideas separately. So, in summary, Grim Dawn, isometric ARPG, like Diablo and Titan Quest and other good things like that. From the lovely people at Crate Entertainment, I should mention. Top bunch of guys who have done a fantastic job. piles and piles of loot of all shapes and sizes, dual mastery leveling system, so as you level up you can choose 2 masteries to combine as you want to form your own unique build, and just hordes and hordes of enemies in a gritty, dark, gory, dangerous world filled with a variety of different enemies for you to absolutely smack. Loot pinatas, if you will. Lots of really good challenging bosses and heroes on your travels to keep it really fresh and engaging for the player. So it's a fantastic game, and I do hope you check it out if you haven't already, if you're just watching this to get an idea for what Grim Dawn is approximately. In the next episode, we'll probably talk about the basics of leveling up, and in terms of killing things in of itself, and also going through your mastery trees, so leveling in terms of progressing up your bar, choosing skills, how skills work, and that sort of thing. So we'll cover that next time and progress from there. I hope you did find this video informative, if not a little bit rambly. If you did, please do leave a like below. If you have any further questions or comments, or even suggestions for further content you would like covered, please make sure to mention it, and I hope to talk to you all again very, very soon. So, my name is Kluger. You have a fantastic day.